is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
You have to be strong in today's world. Keep your focus and what you believe in, how to achieve all your dreams. Keep moving forward, never accept less than who you are. Live your best life. Be strong and free. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back.
The Hit Back with Nahaja Black is sponsored by the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, BTC, Bahar Retreat and Spa, and J.S. Johnson.
Bahamas, and welcome to the Hit Back. I'm your host, Nahaja Black. It is a beautiful day here in the 242. I hope that everybody's doing well, that you are taking care of yourself, that you are living your best life. Listen, we have an interesting news day today, an interesting show for you today. A few things have happened that are kind of in the news, but outside of the news as well. And I have a show that actually is very interesting and entertaining to me. Not entertaining, but I think it will be informative, give us a different perspective. And one that I wanted to have a conversation with. And so when the story came to me, I was happy that it did show up to my doorstep. So we got a few things to discuss. I don't know if the show from 4:30 to 5:30, we will have some guests. They are Bahamian wives of foreign fishermen. And if you know, there's a new fisheries bill that has passed. And one of the things that was screamed from the forefront, from the beginning, was that, listen, this is discriminatory against Bahamian women who are married to foreign men. And there is a lot of arguments and contest. The bill, even the minister says this is not discriminatory. It is for Bahamian citizens. If the bill is legal, if your marriage is right, he should become a citizen. And then there are those who argue, but work permits work for other fields. Why can't it work in this field, in this instant? There's also this argument, the side of the story, where we have this stigma attached that Bahamian women get swing. We get swing up, right? And that these men are only marrying women, Bahamian women, for that work permit, to do this particular work. Why are all of these men from the same region? Right? And so this is the questions that we're going to be asking to these wonderful women today, 4:30 to 5 o'clock. And then there's also some other things that have been in the news. Something that is circulated, and I, you know, it's very sad and disheartening. It's one of these tragic stories, but it's a reality check, I think, for all of us when we talk about COVID-19. And you may have heard, and I posted it on my page and all. You can go again, facebook.com/Nahaja Black Show. And so you may have heard about a video with a young lady who was talking about how she lost her mother and her brother within 24 hours. They still have two persons in hospital, two family members in hospital, one in intensive care. And so the loss is high, and she herself is suffering from COVID-19. I want us to listen to that a bit later in the show. Showing and paying all respects. But I think it's important that we realize we're here now. We've been here a while, but we're here now where we're getting these types of stories. These types of stories aren't new. I spoke to a nurse, I would say about 3 months ago. She lost her mother, her sister, her aunt, and her mother's best friend, all to COVID. These stories aren't new. What is sad about it is that we're still downplaying. It's still not loud enough. And that the question is, who is COVID affecting? Who is COVID? When we talk about the deaths, who is COVID affecting? We know it's just not those with comorbidities, but what is the demographic, right? Who really is dying from COVID-19? Is there a different demographic that's dying than normal? And these are questions that have to be asked and answered, right? They have to be asked and answered. But something else that caught my attention today I don't know if you guys noticed, and it is a pet peeve of mine, and it's always something that it's not always something, but something that's underlying where I say that we cannot be serious about being a first world country, right? Where we cannot really be serious. Well, first world, sorry, wanting to be a developed country. Well, I've never heard anyone talk about us wanting to be a developed country, but I have dreams, right? I have dreams. But one of the issues that I have is that today, some of you may have noticed that when you try to access the website, or to do e-business or banking online with First Caribbean or Scotia or RBC, there was some downtime. You weren't able to access this website. This wasn't new just to us. This was not just an issue to the Bahamas. This was an issue where there was an attack on AWS. That's the Amazon Web Services platform. The Amazon Web Services platform was apparently going through some sort of cyber or DOS attack. I'm not sure. I don't know the details of this attack, but that is what we came up to. I have a question. Was there any notification, any media press release? Up to this time, I haven't gotten one to my phone. I haven't gotten one from anyone who's reporting. But have we, as those who bank, have we gotten any notification of this downtime? When your account has been tampered with, when there has been any sort of banking errors or issues with regards to banking, who gets notified? When the registrar gets attacked, cyber, who gets notified? When do we get notified? You say, Nahaja, why does this matter? Because this is data policy now. This is cybersecurity. This is our a part of our identity is online. Who you are is online. How you live, this is all online. And so if my banking information, if any part of the banking process finds itself down, any sort of cyber attack, there should be some sort of complete notification. And I may have just not gotten the notification, right? But these are things that, look, when we have these sort of, there are things that are bigger, right? But one of the conversations that I think that is beyond having is that there should be rules, laws, that if something happens to my health records, my banking records, anything digital, that we have data protection laws that makes sure and ensures that I am informed of these breaches. A bank right now can have a full-on breach, and you as a banker, as a client, you don't have the right to know that unless you ask. It's not going to be automatic to you. We have cases where persons' accounts have been tampered with. Then the bank will tell you when these accounts are tampered with, and the person then goes out and says, hey, this is something that's wrong here, that you have banks who refuse to pay, even though it is not the client's problem or fault. But what happens when there is a breach? Who is responsible for sending this information? We are so, captured. We are so constrained. We are so held hostage by antiquated rules and laws and by fearful politicians that refuse to say that there are more rights for you as a citizen. That you should have basic data protection rights. What are the rights that we have? How familiar are we with the the communications? We call it the spy bill. I can't even remember what it named now. What's I can't remember. All I know, I just call it the spy bill at this point. But how familiar are we with the act there? How familiar are we? What are the breaches? What are the rules and the laws? How do we know our rights? But we have banking systems that are egregious, that hold the power over citizenry. We get increased fees with no increase in services or proper services or better services. Everything is a fee, but the quality of service is gone. Who's protecting us? Now there's a data breach. It's not the bank's fault. It was an attack on AWS, not the banks themselves, but there were a lot of banks portal down for a brief period of time. Happened somewhere between 11:30, 12, 1 o'clock. And they were down. This is not just in the Bahamas, for the record. AWS is a platform for many, globally, one of the world's leading platforms for web services, so web delivery services. And they were down. People host on AWS services. But when would we know? And if it's down, who tells us it's down? And to tell us we're okay. Was there any effect on the sand dollar? What are we doing? Was there any effect at all with us being down? Should we be concerned? These are questions that should be not just that you don't have to ask, that are automatically sent to us. And I think that those are important things, right? Good afternoon, everybody. Says my account was attacked by the bank itself. My God. Someone says I was trying to get onto First Caribbean online for about 3 days now. Any notification? Someone says you have employees sharing your personal bank information. It happens, slackness. You know, boy, says we are undeveloped. We are an undeveloped third world. That's just facts. The problem that I have is, when do we get protected? When do we get protected? Right? And, for me, it's just, someone says it's safer to put your money in a hole. I think that these are base things, basic rights, fundamental rights. Basic. When I say basic, it should be easy to do. Where we say there should be better data protection policies, data laws for breaches, so that your data is secure. So that if your data isn't secure, you can go into this, you can break it down. You can go and say, hey, listen, I don't want this to happen. I can sue because you were in breach of my information. Banks get away with a lot in this country. Let's just call a spade a spade. They get away with a lot. And recently, if you have the money, and this is where the challenges of who has and who doesn't have, if you have the money, you can win a case because they're still breaking the law. The justice system wants to get to your case. But if you don't have the money, they can easily just continue to let the slackness reign and you run out of time. We had a reporter, a journalist in this country at ZNS, who won her case against the bank. But there should be some sort of announcement. That's all I'm saying, is there should be forced announcements, forced information. Immediately as that breach has happened, as there's a downtime, not a breach, but downtime, we don't know if there was any sort of issues that happened with these down websites. We don't know if there was any attack. We don't know that. Were you sent a letter? Were you sent any sort of official notification? People were not able to access First Caribbean, Scotiabank. I know that Royal Bank was also on the server AWS services. I don't know if that was a challenge for them there. But I would assume since Scotia and FCIB had that challenge, that we should be dealing with those things. All right, so we got, listen, just for the record, we got to be asking for these sort of things. This is what makes the quality of living in the country better. This is what makes some things make sense, right? If I'm not getting any savings from I'm not growing my revenue unless I'm a multimillionaire and or 100,000 now, right? Because you're really not growing your savings with the amount of fees that are going in there. And payments are barely able to save because we don't have the funds and the capital, the disposable income to save. You put your money in a savings account, you might as well just say it's there to feed the bank. Someone says, nothing will change. The Bahamas is a banana republic. I hope it changes. I think we, the people, have to be the ones to say, well, you know what? You're right, though, because, man, we have a prime minister who gave us fixed election dates. We were supposed to have the Freedom of Information Act. 5 years, going into 5 years, we still don't have any real legislation other than a person now in the wee nights, right? In the wee nights, late night, getting a commissioner and nonetheless, I won't go there. But we've got we've always had a data commissioner. What is he? Integrity commissioner. We've got all kind of weird things, but it's nothing substantive. Whistleblower protection, nothing substantive. Cannabis, medical cannabis, nothing substantive. Ombudsman Act, not even brought to the floor. Medical emergency, nothing substantive. We even took 3-4 years to get Marco's Law just to have young people. Did we get the push notifications? Nothing substantive. But I digress. All right. I think that we as the people have to decide if this is it. If this is it, someone said we just work here. This place isn't for us. Sadly, you're onto something. It feels like this isn't our place, right? It benefits those to whom it's supposed to benefit. That's the challenge. To whom it's supposed to benefit, it benefits. For us, we are just the plantation workers on the plantation that has bigger fields. And so we have to get that resolved at some point. I tell you right now, it's a big issue for me. So we have something else I wanted to mention first, but even freedom of information. So what's going on now? So come 4:30, and we'll take a break real soon. The wives of these Bahamian wives of foreign fishermen are joining the show. Why I'm happy with that, happy that we're having this segment, is that is a group that I have not spoken to before. This is a segment that I think is going to be very interesting to listen to. And at 5:30, we're going to switch gears because I want to talk about some things that bothered me. I saw the prime minister walking around with no mask on, and we're in the height of COVID and the pandemic. The level of hypocrisy, listen, that's a whole other kettle of fish. But this group, this group of women, they reached out to me and they shared their concerns. They shared their frustrations. They shared that, listen, we should have rights now, and this bill is negatively impacting my family. We have a real family. If those who don't have a real family exist, that should be under the purview of immigration to deal with illegal marriages or marriages that are of convenience for one thing. They declare that they don't have those types of relationships, that they are happily married, that they are happy with where they are. And they want their rights, and this bill negatively affects them. I think that it's going to be a heated discussion. All right. And someone says not on to him, to be honest, in this banking online. We're going to get to that. One of the things that is going to be why I think it's going to be a heated discussion is I think that a lot of us have these biases. I think that a lot of us, men in particular, and women, I don't know. Men and women, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Do both men and women believe that the Dominican or the Honduran fishermen are only marrying these women because they're looking for a work permit? I think that that is interesting. And I think that that's going to lead to an interesting discussion from their side of the aisle. Let me get some of these comments before we go to the break and bring them on. Someone says, hello, Nahaja. To the Bahamas. To be honest, this banking online is not good at all. People in the bank know just how to get access to your account. When you go to get money from your account, it's not there. And then they could tell you that you only have access to your account. I love the Bahamas. Switzerland. Hey, someone says Lincoln is the only hope for the Bahamas. Says the laws are conflicting. You can have unmarried foreigner having babies with Bahamians, and the children are automatically Bahamians. But these fishermen who are married can't have the rights of being Bahamians, confused and mixed up. He says one thing the Bahamas does well is discrimination. There is no way these spouses or families should be disenfranchised in this way. Someone says we are now experiencing more and more poverty, joblessness, and mental health problems, increasing crime. So the rich will remain the plantation owners, and the majority of us will remain slaves. We'll be back, y'all. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. When we come back, we've got the fishermen's wives joining us on the show. Is discrimination happening? Is this a discrimination issue? I think that there is some issue. I have an issue with it, in particular, certain language. But then you will hear that, you'll hear the minister say there's no part of this bill that speaks on discrimination. It doesn't speak on it. It's subtle. If you say that no foreigner can be on a vessel, then that means that we have to ensure that everyone is Bahamian. I don't think you should give out citizenship just to get a job. Citizenships, well, and that shows you what the value of citizenships are to me in this country. Because we give out citizenships, work permits. Man, listen, we've had an entire embassy gutted, the Haitian embassy gutted and sent back for doing illegal business in this country with regards to passports and citizens. We've had FBI investigations that have questioned the integrity and called names of persons within immigration and local business because of this thing of permits and citizenry. This is an immigration issue. Let immigration fix this issue. We shouldn't have lazy immigration policies and laws. But I'm not one saying I believe that citizenship should be worth something. It should be worth more that if you want work here, you have to be a citizen. That shows you we ain't got no value for citizenship. But if there was a sovereign wealth fund and every one of us had equity and stake in this country, I bet your citizenship would change. But citizenship works for those who need it to work. And arranged marriages are indeed a real thing. And there is a lot of crookery in this country. Yes, corruption is rife. We got people who are married to people they don't even know they're married to. When was the last time you heard of an arrest in the office of the Department of Registry or the Registrar's Department? How are these people getting fake birth certificates or what looks real, but actually you can't trace it? So it's just more than that. Fix corruption, fix where the crime happens, do a better job in these systems. And then we wouldn't have to be lazy with bills. That's just my thought. But anyways, you're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black. I'm looking forward to having these women on. I think it's going to be one heck of a conversation. We'll be back right after this.
When I got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or BTCBahamas.com. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
Listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. We got joining us some of the wonderful, and I say, you know me, everybody. These women are smart, intelligent wives, Bahamian wives of foreign fishermen. And they reached out to me and they wanted to tell their side of the story. They wanted folks to know that they are Bahamians, that they have a voice, they have rights, they feel discriminated against. So I want to welcome them on. I see a few of them in the background and their cameras aren't on, so I would like for them to cut on their cameras and let's get on. But we'll start off with this wonderful young lady here, and we got a few, but we've got Shabeth Salvador Rojas. And I'm not good with Spanish, so you got to fix that for me. Fix it. Say it right for me, Shabeth.
Salvador Rojas.
Salvador
Gotta get
Rojas.
those R's rolling. Salvador Rojas.
I butchered that last name. So full butchery. All right.
That's okay.
It's good to have you on. I'm happy that you're here. And I see Antonil and Lashonda. Let me know. Wave if you're ready. Wave to me in the camera so I can see you and know that you're ready to go. Good. I see Lashonda there. All right. So let's go. I'll start off, and I'll start with you, Shabeth, and then I'll bring the other ladies on as well. And I see Malvinia in there as well. Okay, so Shabeth, welcome to the Hit Back. So happy that you're here. Tell us a bit about, because you reached out to me. You were my first point person. You were my point person for this conversation. Tell folks about yourself and why you wanted to have your voices heard, why you thought that this was a good idea, a good show idea.
Well, firstly, I would say since the enactment of this law, we felt as if we as the women, we have never had an opportunity to tell our side of the story. Everyone has this perception that, our marriages are marriages of convenience. And if you were to examine this particular law, you would realize that this was actually one of the points of mischief in the law. And we feel, I wouldn't say felt, we felt at that time, we still feel as it is an insult to us because we have genuine marriages. We have children, we have mortgages, or we have rent, just like any other wife. And just like any other household, we deserve the right to have our spouses working and fulfill his role as the head of the home. So this has nothing, in case anyone is thinking that, we're in the political climate right now, that this is some political agenda. No, we feel as if Bahamians and the powers that be need to be, let's say, conscious of the fact that we are real Bahamian women. We have real bills to pay, and we need our real husbands to be able to work. So this is the reason for us coming on to your show and reaching out to you, because we feel as if only one side of the story has been told, and it's a little bit like lopsided. We need to bring some balance in there.
All right. So we've got Shabeth Salvador Rojas. I was terrible. Still got it. So we go with Shabeth. Yeah. We have joining us Tennille Vargas. Tennille, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to have you on, Tennille. All right. I know that you have some challenges. I know you're on the road. So before we lose you, and I'll give Shabeth, I'll move her out just for a quick second. Before we lose you, Tennille, tell us a bit about who you are, how your marriage itself, how long have you been married? Where is your husband from? Give us some background, because I know you're going to be with us only for a short time.
Okay. My name is Tennille Vargas. Nay Strawn, because a lot of persons, when they see my name, they tend to think that I'm solely Latino, because it actually says Tennille Vargas Peralta. I've been married 13 years, 2 children, one is with us, Catalia. She's 7. I met my husband in Bimini while working, and I always tell people, from the first day he said, "You're going to be my wife." And I was like, really? I said, I'm happy about that. He's always taking care of us. He's a hardworking man. I take pride in saying that he's my husband, if that makes any sense.
No, I mean, that's your husband. That's your boo.
Like Shabazz said earlier, a lot of persons tend to think that these men only marry for convenience so that they can get papers. First going off, my husband didn't have any type of paperwork other than what his bosses gave him. And he never petitioned me to do anything. I did it on my own. Mainly because people tend to mistreat foreigners. So us having that ability to say, make the shots, make the calls was a plus for us. I've been with a Bahamian man, and no downfall to my Bahamian man, because I have brothers and cousins who they're thriving with their families. But for me, he was the best choice for me. He was the best choice. So I stand beside him because mainly I think this bill is being unfair, and it brings to light a lot of the hurt, the mental abuse that I have been going through for years, because persons always say, "Oh, he only marry you for papers," and that hurt. Because I think that if by now, if you want to say he only married me for papers, he would have been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bahamian women, sorry, we are intellectuals. We are thriving women who, no matter what the obstacles are, we always find a way to make it work. And that's even if that's straight across the board, because, once you've traveled the world and gone places, you will see where Bahamian women are at the forefront everywhere they go. Everywhere they go. And that's something also that I take pride with.
So that's Tennille Vargas. Tennille, and we're going to come back to you. I want to get a lot more of these women singularly, so we'll be right back to you. Then we have joining us, I see we have LaShonda. LaShonda, let me know if you're ready to go, because I think what we're going to do, there's a lot of these women. We have 4 of them who are joining us on the show. I think it's 5, actually. And let me see if I can get to LaShonda. LaShonda, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
All right, LaShonda. Tell us a bit about yourself. How long have you been married, and where did you meet your husband?
I met my husband in Andros. We've been married 15 years. Wonderful man. Where we met was at a pool club. He's shooting pool. He was talking to one of my cousins, asking my cousin who I am. I wasn't interested at that moment. He insists and was very persistent to buy me food, buy me drinks. I turned him down. Still wouldn't leave me alone. Mm-hmm. But it was wonderful at the end of the day when I got to meet him, when we finally got together. It was wonderful. He became a wonderful person for me and my kids. So it was nice. It was nice.
All right. So then when you look at this bill in and of itself, how long has he been a fisherman? Was he a fish? Where's he from? Let me ask that. Where's he from?
He's from Dominican Republic. He said he's been a fisherman he was small, from 17 years old. So he's been fishing all his life. That's all he knew. So did you feel at any point that you were being used? It's a 15-year marriage, but do you feel as if at any point you are being used for fishing, for papers? What are you being used for? Anything? For me, I don't feel like I'm being used because I'm a Bahamian woman. If someone can use me, I either using you, but you don't can use me. That's it. That's just it. Clear.
Easy.
I can confront you. If you can marry me for that, then you can keep stepping.
Was that a concern of yours, LaShonda?
Not at that moment, no, ma'am.
And how has he been in taking care of you? Is he the sole breadwinner? How does he take care of the family?
He take care, make sure bills paid, food in the house. Everything is on point. Like everybody said, every marriage have their ups and downs, but we work through our problems and get it done.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 6 kids for him and an autistic son.
Oh, wow.
Autistic son, and he's very loving. He's a very loving father. Very loving.
What is this bill? What has happened since this bill has come about? How has it affected the house?
Since this bill came about, it's like all the strain mostly on me. It's on me. So I got to make sure the children's straight, make sure things done. He tries best, even though he's not over here at the moment. He tries best to make sure we have stuff and send stuff, so I could be able to take care of the kids. So I must say he's wonderful.
But you said he's not here at the moment. Where is he?
He's in Dominican Republic at this time, working on his passport.
Okay. So he's working on his passport to get sorted out here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll be back to you, LaShonda, in a minute. We also have joining us Raquel and Malvina. I'll be right to you in a minute. Raquel, how you doing?
I'm all right.
So tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I've been married to a Honduran man for about 20 years. We have 2 lovely kids. Actually, we brought up my first son. He brought him up. He's now 25. We teach him how to fish in the Bahamian waters. And after I met him, we got married. We had 2 more kids, so we have 3 kids. Mm-hmm. And we have 3 kids together because my oldest son still rely on him. He still, if he can help him in any which way, he try to help him.
Let me ask you, where I think many people have a concern is that we believe that these Honduran and Dominican men, sorry, hold on one second. That these Honduran and Dominican men are really out there just trying to find themselves wives, Bahamian wives, in order to fish. That is the narrative, and I'm going to bring all of you on right after Malvina so we can have this discussion in large. What do you say to that? Did you ever feel as if you were a part of the snatch and grab crew? Or did you ever feel as if you were, someone who was being wooed for a purpose? Did you feel as if he was in love with you? Do you still feel as if that was the status and the place of your relationship?
I could be honest with you. My husband, when he married me and when I married him, it was really never. I married him basically because I felt some type of way, and I felt like, I just felt sorry for him and his condition. At the end of the day, I married my husband, and I didn't really love him, to be honest. He didn't really, and then when he come to me, he said, "I didn't really love you either." But God is so awesome. We grow trust. We just grow into loving one another. At first, I didn't want to have any children because I say, man, he's a foreigner, and he can have children with me, and he can load me down, and he can leave me with these children, and I can be here in Nassau, and he can be back home, and so therefore I can be here trying to raise these 2 children or 1 children or whatever. I'm a woman really never even wanted kids like that. I only wanted 1 child. So after we got married and we started having kids, he go to love me more. I go to love him more. I had my kids. And then it wasn't less because after the first child, we fall in love. I say, because baby don't hold man. Baby don't hold no kind of man. So I say, okay, let me see. And all the love, he stick around, and I say, I was pregnant again. And he still stick around, and he still take care of my kids. He take care of the one who don't even live with me, the first one. Because when we met, and he had 1 child. And the little boy was 5 years old or 4 years old. And my son go to love him. Like I said, I didn't really love him, but we go into love.
Sorry, I only laugh, Raquel, because it sounds as if this was definitely a marriage of convenience on that one. It definitely sounds.
I honestly felt at the end of the day, I say, oh my God, this man is handsome. He is beautiful. I was really infatuated more over him than he was for me. I say, oh, this guy is handsome. And I say, oh God, I got to have this one. At the end of the day, I say, he's mine. But I was more infatuated over his looks, I guess. But at the end of the day, hey, it was a little more than that after we started having kids, after we lived, we grew up to love one another, and we lived together. And us to this day, my husband is a real man. He take care of his home. He run the show, and I don't have no problems.
Now that's the word. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. You can't beat. He takes care of his home, his responsibilities. Someone says, "Wow, that's powerful." An entanglement at its best. All right. Okay, we're gonna switch over to our last guest on. We're gonna have Malvina. Malvina, I see you having some technical issues. Okay. Malvina, are you there? Can you hear me? All right, we got some technical issues with Malvina. Let's see if we can get everybody on then. All right. Ladies, welcome to the show. It's good to have you all on with us. And let me see if I can get Malvina with us. Some people have a lot of stuff going on here, so we got to deal with that on another date. Okay. So let's chat. And Shabeth, I'll let you go first. So open it up. Open up your microphone. Let's go first. Here we are now, ladies. You wanted to add something?
Yes, because as I opened up, I did not have the chance to express about my marriage. And I have with me here my 25-year-old daughter.
Oh, hi.
And I will speak, and then I will let her give her experience of having him as a stepfather. Mm-hmm. As like Tennille, I've been married for 13 years. And the interesting thing about it is I speak fluent Spanish. And a lot of persons, I say that why? Because many persons use that as well to say, oh, they can't even understand each other. I mean, how could that marriage be real? And it's amazing how, as a result of being married to my husband, how my Spanish has been improved to the point where I've been told that I have almost native fluency. the fact that my husband met me with 2 girls. One of them, she will speak. And during this time, he has demonstrated nothing less than being a father, not a stepfather, a father to my children. We went out together. Her first encounter with having an allowance was when we got married. She knew of the word allowance, but allowance became a reality when we became married. And he would always send, okay, give that to the kids. I look at him, I say, give them that for what? Say, don't question me, just give that to them. Anyway, the long and short of my story is, he has been a superb husband. Yes, like any marriage, we have had our So definitely, there's no marriage that does not have challenges. But the good report is, despite of the challenges, 13 years later, we're still together as husband and wife. Now I will give her a minute to just express herself.
And remind me, what's your name, my love?
Oh, my name is Shakita Ferguson.
Shakita, okay, so you have to tell me now. Your mom speaks highly. This is your dad. Your stepfather is, I gather, the way she speaks, this is your dad. Tell me a bit about your experience. I mean, this, you know what we're having, why we're having this show, the issue that this bill for your mother and other mothers like her and wives like her are that their spouses who are foreign are said, especially those who work in fishing in particular, are not allowed to fish anymore. What does this mean to you when we start talking about, are these marriages righteous? Are they legal? A lot of women are getting swung. Is this where you stand?
I understand the reason why most people feel that way, because we do have a lot of marriages, not only just Dominicans, other nationalities that marry for money or whatever the case may be. But you do have some sincere marriages, some marriages where they do love each other, where the man takes care and look after his wife and his household. And that's where I came from. You know, even from I met him when I was 11 years old. And at first I was like, where did we find this Spanish-speaking man from? You know, that's what I said first. And it was such a love. And, you know, as children, you know when someone is being genuine. And he has done nothing but displayed what it is to have a father figure in my life, because I came from a single parent home. Yes, I had a relationship with my father, but not living with him. And I must say, hands down, a good provider. He was not only being a provider, but he was also protective as well. So it wasn't just, oh, she could do whatever she wanted, or they could do whatever she wanted. He was watching. He was making sure everything was in order. Boys, no. He was doing as he should. Even going to church, and you know, I even watched all of us became a family. We also grew in the things of God. So it wasn't just okay, we just marrying for papers. I think after a while, your personality, if you're faking, eventually it would come out. And having 2 children that is not yours is not easy, because at the same time, I know that I wasn't an easy child to deal with, because I had the mindset that, look, yeah, you're paying the bills, but you're my daddy. So I knew he dealt with things like, I don't have to deal with this. But he went over and beyond. If there's anything we wanted to do, any sport we took part in, it's like, okay, do it. Let them do it. I'm going to support whatever y'all need. I'm there. So he was there 100%. It wasn't like, oh, they're your children. No, he didn't have that. He had that mindset as if these are my own. You understand me? It felt like he was my biological father. So when I hear this topic, I was like, wow, you know, it would be sad if the innocent have to suffer for the guilty. You understand? And I feel like even if they want to enforce something like this, the ones that are married should be allowed, especially the ones that have been together for years, and you have proof to say that you've been living together for years. You all had children together. There's some background check to say, okay, this is legit. They should be able to continue to work, in my opinion. Yeah. You know, these women have evidence to say, hey, I have not only children, we've been together, we've traveled together. No, you worship together. You can't run away from it. You can see that, okay, this is legit. Family photos. I mean, I don't know what else they may want. Graduation photos, videos, whenever he was able to be present and he wasn't on the water, he was there. Support 100%. 100%. So I feel like if they have evidence, oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
No. I mean, you were doing what? You're doing great. I mean, you're killing it here. So I have to ask this question then. As a young Bahamian woman, you are the future, right? You are part of whatever is to be in this country now and 10 years, 30, 50 years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
When you view this bill from inside, from where you sit, knowing that there are foreign men who come in country who are in love with Bahamian, I don't even know why we have to make this a believable topic, right? Like, why do you have to say that this is possible, that we aren't getting swung? Bahamian women aren't getting swing on a daily basis. I think that's crazy that we have to have this discussion, because we know fellas be getting swing all the time, and they travel to Cuba to get swing. They travel to Jamaica to get swing, but we digress, right?
Mm-hmm.
As someone who is in the now, from the inside out, what would you say to folks just who are dealing with this bill? Like, what would you say, let's fix?
What would I fix about it? You mean concerning them being able to have access to fish?
Yeah. What would you want? What would you need? What would you like to see the government address in this bill? You mentioned that you know already that, hey, that there are fake marriages, that there are fraudulent marriages.
Yes, I feel like if this is my thing, if they do background checks for everything else. So if they really want to be fair in something like this, I feel like they should do a background check. If you can present more than enough evidence to say that this is a legit marriage, then, and come on, if someone only wants papers, do you think a man is going to invest his entire salary for years? I'm talking your entire salary. You paying, whether it's rent, mortgage, light, if the children have school fee. Do you think someone who I just want papers to be entitled to another person and their children, and when I said their entire salary going on that household, do you think someone is really going to do that for 10 plus years? I mean, come on, that's what I'm saying. If you have evidence to bring forth to say that, hey, this is a legit marriage, I feel like it should be passed. Now if there's no evidence to say, okay, y'all living together and it's haywire, then that's a different. But I feel like if there's enough evidence they should be permitted to fish, in my opinion.
All right. Thank you so much, my love. You were fantastic. We're going to take we have a caller. Let's take this call real quick. And let's see what we've got. Ladies, you ready? Let's get a caller here now. Caller, you're on the hit back. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Mrs. Black.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
I listened to you when you went on your tour. You were great.
Thank you.
You were great. Yes, I want you to ask those ladies if they ever been to these husband home and meet the mother-in-law and the father-in-law and the sister-in-law and the brother-in-law. Ask
Good
them
question.
that.
Good question.
Yes.
I want them to answer it too.
Yes, okay.
The last time that I was in the Dominican Republic was December of this year. December of last year. My father-in-law is deceased. When I met
your audio is a bit muffled now. I don't know. Something happened with your audio, Shabbat. Maybe it's on something. No, it's a little worse now.
Okay. Maybe my hand is.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, my last trip to the Dominican Republic was in December. As I was saying, my father-in-law is deceased. My mother-in-law, her name is Laura Rojas.
Mm-hmm.
I've met her. My sister-in-law is Ana Guilla Rojas. I have two brother-in-laws. One died just this year. God bless his soul. Another one, Alexa Salvador Rojas. I know all of his siblings. There's another sibling he has that lives outside of Puerto Plata, from where he's from. And he has two children. Yes, and that was not my first visit there. So I have answered her question. Yes, I have been there. Like I say, I'm fluent in the language. So when I go there, I have conversation with them, just as how I'm having a conversation on this talk show.
All right, Raquel, let me get you. Malvina, you're having some technical issues. So I want to make sure that I can get you on for a second there. Raquel, tell me your thoughts.
My thing is, I was married in Honduras. I went there 4 or 5 times. I try to go there every summer. Tickets are a little expensive right now. I know all of my husband's family. I went there for my husband father when he died. I went to the funeral. And when the mother died, I also went to the funeral. I was present. They know me. They take me in. They love me as their daughter-in-law. When they cook for me, they put food on the table. That's why I'm so chubby-wubby. They put food on the table and they take me in and they love me and they sleep anywhere. I get treated like a queen. So Honduras is my home. I go Rotan, I go San Juan, Pueblo, where my husband is from. I go Tegucigalpa. I drive. I go. I'm love. When I go over there, I dance. I do the merengue. I skip. I fly. Mom, I jump. Sweetie, that is my second home. But I love the Bahamas, and my husband loved the Bahamas, and this is where you want to be. But let me tell you something, sweetie. My kids, when they first born, my husband took them to Honduras to play with the chicken and the rooster and the pig in the sand before they daddy died. So Honduras is our home. I answer a question over and out.
Let's see if we can get Malvina before Malvina having some technical issues, man. I really want to get her, but we have okay. Let's take the news break. We'll come back after this. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. We will be back right after this.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
You're listening to the Guardian News Network. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Taylor Ferguson. Here's what's making news. Thank you so much for tuning in. Director of the National HIV, AIDS, and Infectious Disease Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, warning that more must be done to bring the spread of COVID-19 under control. With continued high numbers of COVID cases, deaths, and hospitalizations in the country, Forbes said she's concerned, and there has to be a plan and strategy in place for reopening and dealing with new surges.
The appropriate thing to do in an outbreak, any infectious disease outbreak, is you put your energy in what you can do to get it under control. So we've studied COVID. We know how it spreads. We know how to stop it. We know how it can be prevented. And so now we have to put those steps in place to mitigate it.
But Health Minister Renward Wells and Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis have so far maintained there is no need for increased restrictions on New Providence, insisting vaccination is the solution. 3,496 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine donated from Montserrat and Anguilla arriving in the Bahamas on Wednesday. That will allow government's COVID vaccination program to continue second doses. The Vaccine Consultative Committee thanking UK High Commissioner Sarah Dixon for helping to make that donation possible. Government recently borrowed 5,000 COVID vaccines from Antigua and Barbuda to help shore up the local dwindling supply while it waits for shipments from COVAX and possibly the United States. Well, low vaccination numbers keeping the downtown straw market shuttered. Deputy Prime Minister Desmond Bannister giving an update on that.
We want to be able to open the straw market, but we have a responsibility to payments. We have a responsibility to be able to open it safely. Right now, I am informed that even at the staff of the Straw Market Authority, we have a low number of persons who are vaccinated. So the government has to look at all of these issues. We know that there are a number of vendors who are not vaccinated.
That's what's making news. I'm Taylor Ferguson. AP News is coming up next.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Coronavirus update. I'm Tim McGuire with an AP News Minute. Top health officials say the Delta variant is now the dominant strain of the coronavirus in the U.S. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says more than 80% of the cases in the past week are of the Delta variant, which she says is extremely virulent.
Compared to the virus we had circulating initially in the United States at the start of the pandemic, the Delta variant is more aggressive and much more transmissible than previously circulating strains. It is one of the most infectious respiratory viruses we know of and that I have seen in my 20-year career.
Walensky says unvaccinated people, especially those in places with increasing coronavirus cases.
So if you're in an area that has a high case rate and low rates of vaccination where Delta cases are rising, you should certainly be wearing a mask if you are unvaccinated.
She adds people who have already been vaccinated can decide if they want to wear the mask for more complete protection. I'm Tim McGuire.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
Listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share. We are building our audience across the world. We got people watching us in Texas. We got people listening to us on, well, obviously, you know, Guardian's reach is far beyond, right? So people are listening to us using their TuneIn app, using the Guardian Radio app. They're watching us on YouTube and Facebook, Texas, Canada, Dominican Republic. I got one of my great friends, doctor of anthropology, who is happily watching now with her DR fiance, right? Her Dominican fiance. So she living her best life in Ohio. And he is too. Heard the brother said it's cold. Well, you know, yeah, fluent in Spanish as well. Yeah, I'm all for love, just love, right? And I think that this is going to be quite interesting, this discussion and debate. My phone is blowing up. I've got comments galore. I think it's always funny. Someone says they like the old music better. Cerise, come on, man. Why you got to be like that? I can't be using up, James Brown music. But we digress. All right. We've got Shabbat. I hope we have Malvina. And because this is hard work with Malvina. We got Raquel and LaShonda. Malvina, let's see if we got you. Say something, my love. Say something. And it ain't working. Yeah, Lord, that was a tough one. All right. So we've got these wonderful ladies joining us on the show. Let's talk now, ladies. We're all here. This is where I want us really for us to start having this discussion and the debate of whether or not are you guys the exception? Should you be considered the exception when it comes to this fisheries bill? And maybe I should start with this question. What do you hope to achieve with today? What do you hope to achieve? Shabbat?
Well, I'm hoping that as a result of us coming on to the show, that we're appealing to the heart of the powers that be to realize that you are affecting us as Bahamian women. We want our husbands to be able to work. When they came here, we didn't cross the borders. And I'm going to digress a minute because I was watching some of the comments that came in on the feed, and it was rather disturbing because you know why? It's and I can read and accept disturbing news and not change my composure. So that's fine. We're in a democratic country. Everybody has their right to give their opinion. However, we have persons from various echelons of society. And we're going to go to the male gender for a minute, who made the choice to marry an expat woman. From Parliament, go down. We can pick the ones who have chosen expat women. And outside of Parliament, you still have other persons who chose to marry expat women. Nothing is wrong with that. It is your choice. Where you find love, where you find whatever it is that you're looking for in a mate, because everybody wants something different. Whatever it is that you think a spouse, the qualities a spouse should demonstrate. It doesn't matter if that person comes from Timbuktu. If the men can do it, cross the borders to go look for them and bring them back, and they can work anywhere, there is nothing discriminating them. And I will continue my digressing for a moment, because the reality is, yes, we know that in the Constitution there is provision made for some, if you want to call it, discrimination. And I would describe or just explain what I mean by that. They can stipulate that persons cannot work in certain industries. Previously, mainly if the particular field was saturated with Bahamians. For example, in the law field, no expat can practice law in the Bahamas. Why? That particular field is saturated. Yep. We understand that. We accept that. Any woman who chooses to marry a man that is practicing law in his country, from the minute you marry him, you know, if we were to live in the Bahamas, you can't practice law. Mm-hmm. That is a known fact from the beginning. Mm-hmm. However, this particular law was made retroactively.
Yes.
For those who might need clarification, what I mean by that, you enact a law that now infringes or affects, negatively, adversely affects someone who has already been in that industry for years. Mm-hmm. That is the main problem. We're not saying, okay, you can't enact this law, you know. But my God, give us some consideration. We count. We are human beings. We are Bahamian wives. We have bills to pay like everybody else. Why not consider us? Why not consider the marriages? This is an immigration issue. If you feel as if, okay, there are too many marriages that are non-existent. They may have been existent or legitimate at one point and they were resolved, whatever the case may be. If that is a problem or that is a point at hand, why not do the legwork? Okay, we think Mary and Jean ain't really married. I use some dialect for now. Ain't really married. You know where Mary and Jean live, right? So why not visit where Mary and Jean lives? When you go to immigration, all that information is given. Even if the location, say you were living in an apartment, you now have a home, or you move from one apartment to the next, what we want to find out, we find out. Investigate, and if you want to deal with those who don't have legitimate marriages, but don't make us suffer. And it's adversely affecting us. All of us have children, except for the older women who might have married in the latter stage of life when they were no longer of childbearing age. Those of us who met them when we were of childbearing age or still of childbearing age, we have at least one child. What are we supposed to do now?
Let me ask all of you, because that's the question. Someone would say, well, listen, why don't they just become citizens? Why can't they just move on, make them citizens, apply for citizenship? What is the challenge with that?
Well, I can speak for my situation. In order to get citizenship, you must have the permanent residence first. My husband doesn't have permanent residence status as yet. So maybe the other ladies can respond as well.
No, and I want to find out, how come he doesn't have permanent residence status? Was it because of not applying, because he had a work permit? What was the challenge there?
Well, the last time that we applied for, and this is public knowledge, I'm glad this came out. There was a time that, this goes to show how much of a law-abiding citizen I am. There was a particular time when it was time for my husband to renew his spousal permit. We were having one of our rough moments. He was still in the country. So I said, okay, until we work this out and decide what we're going to do, I will give your boss permission to apply for a work permit for you.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, and so when we went to immigration, that question came up. The officer that interviewed, he asked, okay, I noticed that there's a break in the spousal permit. May I ask, why was that? And I was honest because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I am not going to go to immigration, fill out a form and say, my husband and I are subsiding, when I know in reality, we're not.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be wrong, but I feel as if that is the reason why he was not granted it when we applied again.
All right, so then let's go back to the other ladies. LaShonda.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think you're married, let me make sure I remember the amount of years, 15 years?
50. Yes, ma'am.
15 years. All right, so then you're looking at this situation here. How has this bill impacted you? I think Shabeth mentioned some interesting points there, that it isn't, the bill itself is retroactive, the act itself. So it goes into the past and said that whomever, period, point blank, regardless of history, how has this act affected your family? And what would you like to accomplish in this discussion today? What would you like to see accomplished or happen?
In this discussion, I hope we as wives of the non-Bahamian get justice, and that they look and have a
All right, just like that, we lost her right in the middle of that sentence. Raquel, you're next, right? So Raquel, tell us your thoughts on it. What would you like to see happen with this discussion today?
I would like for our voice to be heard. I would like for justice to be, and I like to receive justice. I just want what is due to all Bahamian women who are out there, who is married to these foreign fellas, and I just want them to give us what we deserve, what we deserve as Bahamian women. I just want our voice to be heard, because it's unfair that if a man you marry someone, out of love, and at the end of the day he have status to be in the country, and then at one point he's working, and then that is taken away from him, and then he's no longer able to work. My husband has permanent residency. I applied from 2014 for he to get citizenship. That was never answered. I'm trying to apply again. So I'm hoping that one day that this situation will be resolved, and we will be able to get over and be able to live our life, because listen here, we have bills, and these bills don't stop coming.
I see and I think that that's a big point too. It isn't that you haven't applied. You tried to apply for citizenship, and that process in and of itself is an unjust process for a lot of people trying to get citizenship for their spouse. So it's not as easy as it is made to see him. And I think that's what goes across the line for many people down the board. But I finally got Malvina Wallace Calderon. I think, did I get that right? Did I say Calderon right? Maybe I got it wrong. I did?
Calderon.
Malvina, listen, I'm so happy. You look like your internet is a bit stable. Oh, Lord, she froze. Okay. Malvina, tell us a bit. How long have you been married? And where's your husband from? How did you meet?
Well, we met at a restaurant where I used to work some years back. My husband is from Honduras. He started fishing from he was 13 years old, and that's all he knew. And he came to the Bahamas in 2000, and he went back in 2001. And from there on in, we were here. And he just came back from Honduras a few weeks ago after being here for 5 years and hasn't seen his family. And he came back few days ago, I should say, not even a full week, a few days ago. And he knew the bill had been passed. And so he came back home to, I guess, for me and him to lean on one another and say, lean on me until I get strong.
Yeah, and that's good to know, because and that statement there, the bill has been passed, and he came home, right? He came home, right? So, one of the things. How you doing, husband?
I'm okay. I'm right there.
They're right here.
It's good to see you, my friend. It's good to see you. So listen, let's talk about this then, Malvina, and your wonderful husband. At this point, what does this bill do to you guys? I mean, what does this do? What does this mean to your family? What are you hoping that just being here today on the show, what do you want to convey? What are you hoping?
Well, I hope it come to some sort of resolutions that some sort of easing up some of this pain and hurt. It really is. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of hurt. I hasn't worked for 2010. I have a spine problem. I have an enlarged heart, and he's the breadwinner. What I'm supposed to do if he's not working? You can't. It's really hard because my daughter now. All that is on her, because with him not working, she have to take on my burden along with her 6 children. She just lost her husband not even a year yet. So that's something that's very, very hard on all of us. If he were working, then he could ease up some of that burden off us.
And then, I think this is an interesting conversation that we're having today. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black. We're discussing talking with Bahamian wives of foreign fishermen, and how the new act is impacting them and their lives. I have to ask this, ladies, as Bahamians, do you understand what the bill or the act is trying to accomplish with protecting our precious resource of fishing? Do we understand that? Is there an understanding or an empathy with that side of the bill, and how and what it's trying to accomplish? And Malvina, I'll go with you first.
Miss Black, what I look at is my husband doesn't have a boat of his own. He works on a Bahamian boat, and he doesn't do nothing. He tried his best to follow all rules and regulation of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. He has a permanent spousal permit, I should say, a spousal permit. And it is just hard for me as a wife, a grandmother, a mother, a great-grandmother, to know that my husband being here for all of those years and without any, should I say, warning, just in a matter of, I don't know how long, months or year, they just decide that, okay, I know it was, a little snag in between back in the years that we goes through that, they said, okay, but they're not poachers. They're hardworking men who take care of their bills. They pay their national insurance. They take care of their household. They pay their mortgages. Their money stays in the Bahamas. Go to the Royal Bank or go to whatever bank. These gentlemen, they put their monies, their hard-working money that they go out. Sometimes the water's so rough, they be out there for months and months and can't even go in the water because it's rough. And they just pray God one day that they get just an inch of relief from the sea to go out to get a dive, to try to make a couple of dollars. The Bahamian food store, the Bahamian food stores, the wholesalers, the retailers, they all combine as one. And when you look, when they go, they have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to go out to sea to buy their food. So that goes into the Bahamas, the public treasury, whoever put that goes into the treasury. And if you look at it, after that, they pay their national insurance. To get the spousal permit, you have to pay for that. To the gas, they have to buy gas. They have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars of gas and diesels, food, water, everything. That still goes into our Bahamas economy. What are they poaching? Does they carry anything out of the country when they come from out to sea, other than bring it home in their home, in the house where they live, for their wife and children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren to have something? You know, it is so, I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to get out of this concept or nothing. I just want to keep it real. But I'm hurting. From my husband came back, he said, okay, babes, I can't go. It looked like I can't go on the sea, but I'm trying to find something else to do. There's nothing else. If you were a fisherman from the age of 13, what can you do? What can you do? That's all you know. That's your life. We're not trying to blame or I don't know. It's just hard on me, man. It's just hard. So, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me for being me, but it's just hard. I'm hurting. I'm stressed. And I just can't take it like that. I just want to.
You just want to what, Malvina?
Just want to be heard, you know, just see if somebody out there can hear me, somebody out there could feel my pain, somebody out there could help. You know, we have a lot of people who is discriminating against us. Why would we be married to foreigners? You know, we are women women with married for papers or money. Me, I'm 55 years old. I ain't gonna let nobody use me for nothing. Not even for a good cup of water. Can't let nobody use me. I'm not being used. And I'm not going to take advantage nor use nobody else. So this thing is very, very hard for all families. And, you know, we as Bahamians, the Bahamian men may not feel how we feel, but I know the boat owners, some of them are hurting just like us. Some of the wholesale people who in the fishing industry, they hurting just like us because they had foreign workers on their boats and stuff and they can't go out. So that means their business is going to close down. Yes, you know, and it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. Miss Black is very hard.
Malvina, I might want to get your husband on this for a quick second too, but on the other side of the break for sure. But I want to get Raquel. Let me get your thoughts on this. I mean, as a Bahamian woman, what do you say to this? Do you understand what the bill is trying to do here? Do you understand what it's trying to do?
Yeah, I totally understand. It's just trying to knock us off the ball back. I am beyond hurting. Like the other lady said, I'm beyond. We all are hurting. We're feeling the pinch. You know, I have mortgage. I have my kids that goes to private school. I have to take them out this year. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up. I'm gonna try. It's hard. The government is not looking at this, you know, at this fairly. This is not just, like I said, everybody is gonna feel the pinch. Everyone. This is not just gonna affect this handful of women right here now on this segment talking, but everyone is going to feel the pinch because this thing go bigger than what it is right now today. You understand? And this fishing bill does just feed only a handful of us, but it feeds a whole lot of us.
Shabath?
Okay, I understand. Let me say, in theory, I understand what, as I read the law, you can read it and understand what they want to protect, as so to speak. However, as I read the law, so I asked myself, okay, if we are saying that these Dominican, or let's not use a nationality because some are of other nationalities, these foreign fishermen are a threat to our fishing industry. Where are the statistics to show how many boats, their trips have been ended due to the fact that when the Defense Force stopped them, they were in possession of illegal fishing gear, they had undersized crawfish or conch or whatever merchandise they were bringing to land. Where is the data to substantiate the claims that these foreign men are indeed in violation? This is where I have a problem.
And when you say these foreign men, you mean the husbands of Bahamian wives?
Yes. Well, I'm talking about, we're here trying to fight for our cause. So anytime I say the foreign man, I'm referring to the foreign fishermen.
Right. Your husband, Bahamian, the foreign fishermen of Bahamian. Yes. Just to make sure that's clear.
Yes. So I have yet to see any data showing boat J came in on this date and boat J was found in possession of this or that or the next. Where is the data? For me, it's as if there is propaganda for whatever reason, and it just feels as if the propaganda was accepted rather than trying to really find out, okay, where are the grounds? Like I say, we need law deals with something that you can substantiate. What is the documentation supporting the fact that they are indeed in violation of fishing laws? This is what we need to see. What is it? I mean, I don't know, Nahaja, you may have seen something. Have you ever seen such document or such statistics?
No data on that one. But I'm sure I could find something. I hope. I'm not sure. I hope.
So this is because we're married to them. And we can attest, ain't no baby crawfish coming home. Ain't no undersized conch coming home. And why? Come on, let's be logical here. All of the Bahamian boat owners that take out the expat fishermen, they're quite aware that everybody knows which boats take out expat fishermen. So they know that if no other boat is checked, their boat will be checked. So it's only common sense. Even if you are tempted, the captains, the boat owner may make his law, but even the captains, they will talk with the captains. Look, we hot. We hot on the radar. Make sure everything is in order. And I can attest to the fact that nothing has ever come to my place that is undersized. I don't see any foreign gear being stored in my place. So I need to know. This is what I don't understand. There were two things about the law. That was one of them, because I'm not on the outside looking in. I am on the inside looking in. And the other thing that I had a problem was the blanket statement of marriages of convenience. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Okay. Because definitely I am a woman. If my marriage ain't together, I ain't going to sign no paper. Like I openly admitted, when we had our challenge, no paper was signed because I'm a person that believes in right. And I am not going to defame myself. I'm a woman of character. I'm not going to defame myself for nobody. So therefore, I will never, not even be caught dead in something of that nature, being named, okay, she's signing for papers and her and her husband ain't living together. She with Joe or he with Susie. No, that's not for me.
Let's get some calls. We got a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the Hit Back. Welcome.
How you doing, Nahaja?
Hi, caller, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
How you doing, Nahaja? Can you hear me?
All right.
Hello?
I think we may have lost. Do we still have the caller, Arlie? All right.
Yes,
we'll go to a break. Caller, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. We'll go to a break right now, guys. When we come back, We'll do our last segment there. And the question that is, actually, no, let's do it now. Hello. I get this, so that when we break, that would be it.
Hello.
The question of why not move to where your husbands are? Why not move to their hometown, to their country? Why not move to Honduras or the Dominican Republic? And for those just tuning in, Shabeth, you've been married to your husband for 13 years, right?
Yes.
Malvina, you've been married to your husband almost 10 years, correct? Yeah. LaShonda, 15 years. Raquel, 20 years. So you guys have been living, your husbands live with you. It could be investigated and everybody would see what it is. But let me ask now. And Raquel says she love, I think it's the DR or the Honduras. It's DR, right, Raquel?
Honduras.
All right, Honduras. All right. So ladies, tell me, why don't y'all move? LaShonda, you look ready to move. You look ready to move. Lord, we lost LaShonda. Hold on. I got to unmute you. Okay, well, once we fix that. Okay, LaShonda, can you hear me?
Okay. If I have to. Yes, ma'am. If I have to, I will do it. I will do it. Me and my kids will pack up quick and go.
Yeah. And Shabeth,
so
why don't you move?
It's not an issue for me.
Why would I not move? I have a mortgage. I don't have any male children. I have all male. Sorry, I don't have any male children. I have all female children. My oldest daughter has 2 children. So therefore, I am a grandmother. And my life has been established here. Mm-hmm. When I got married, it was never stipulated. And this response is addressed to those who are insinuating that we need to move. If that had been the clause when we got married, then we would have had that option, or we would have considered that option. When we got married, there was nothing stipulating that once a Bahamian woman marries a man, you have to go and live in his country. That's not law. So therefore, if it's not law, it's left up to my discretion. So therefore, it is my decision to choose where I want to live. And my decision is I want to live in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. No one dictates to us where we should live. We have the right. This is a democratic country. We have the right to make the decision where we want to live. And it's as simple as that. Quite fine, point blank. Simple as that.
I'm with you. I don't understand how that's even a question. Why I got to move where he is.
I don't understand why is that a question.
Why? But it is. If people say, well, why not move then? If you're so concerned, move where he is. He's the man. Take him home. That's the Bible. Don't go there. I don't even want to respond to that. That's the Bible foolishness. But we digress. Malvina, what do you say? Why you don't move?
Why I wouldn't move?
Yeah.
I'm grandmother of children. I'm a great-grandmother of 2 great-grandchildren. My mother is here. She gets fall down, and she's now be waiting to see when they're going to perform surgery on her in the next day or so. I'm not going to leave her. I don't think that back in the day when the men them go, when was the contract time, the men didn't send the women them. The men them went on the contract. They did that back work. They leave their wife home to take care of their home. I don't think I should leave my country to follow behind my husband. My husband came here and married me. And if he could leave his country and come marry me, I don't think I need to go nowhere else. I'm a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, born and bred in Mars Bay, South Andres. They crab at my toe. So I don't think I need to leave to go nowhere. Who is not satisfied or who have a problem with me and my husband being here, I am still a happy citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. My husband is quite happy where he is. If he wasn't happy where he is, he wouldn't have gone and spent a vacation time with his mother for 3 months and then come back after they closed their fishing laws and come back to the Bahamas to me. So he's quite comfortable where he is in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And touche to him. He loved me, I love him. And so who have a problem with that? Let's praise the Lord together. Let's give God a thank you. Hey, hallelujah. so I can keep on praying.
Praise him. Praise him.
Oh.
Raquel, Raquel, you see Raquel's face. If you ain't tuning in, you should check it out online. Raquel, what you say to that, though?
I can't go where? It's my home. See, they got people out there on the outside looking in, right? And they saying, yeah, why they don't go if they love their husband not so much, why they don't go to their hometown? You see, the thing is, people always open their mouth and got something to say, but they don't really know why not can go. That's just my 5 cents, right? I have a business here. I've been in business for 20 years on Policy Dock where I met my husband. I'm no longer out there. I do a little business now for my home. Me and my husband work together as a team. When he goes out bringing the product, I cook, I sell the product, we retail the product, and we take care of our family. We are a team. The business is set up here in Nassau. Why I need to go to Honduras? We don't have a business in Honduras. I can go there if I have to visit. We go as a family to visit Honduras, okay? But we don't need to go there to live. Yeah, maybe as I get older in life, I say, okay, I'll pack up my Georgie bundle and go. My kids still go to school here. They love to go to school here. Yeah, maybe they finish school one day and want to go to college. But no one can make no decision for me and say, oh, you need to go to his hometown because this is where I born and grew up and this is where I'm going to be. And this is where he wants to be. You understand? He wants to be here. So this is why we are here. So for those who are on the outside looking in, all I have to say to them is keep talking, because the show will always go on.
Well, listen, I just like y'all. All right. So make sure for my audience, as there's someone just tuning in, I think we have one Honduran spouse, right? I think Raquel, your husband is from no.
Honduras.
Yeah?
Honduras. Yes.
Okay. So Malvina, your husband is from Honduras. Shabeth and LaShonda, your spouses are from the DR. Yeah, and Raquel, your husband is from Honduras.
Yes, Malvina and my husband, they are best friends.
All right, stop
Malvina,
that.
Best friends, yeah.
So, ladies, and let's wrap up on this, right? This is a conversation, and I think a bigger one on the rights of women and their spouses. If you go back some years when we had the referendum about when we all voted nay or yay on the gender bill, right? In terms of the citizenship, right? And someone said Nahaja stay causing problems. I know how I causing a problem. I just happen to show, making sure my sisters get heard, right?
Amen.
So at this point, ladies, when you go back in those years, do you believe that there was a failure on the part of us understanding the impact of our choices then? Do you believe that you can, looking at today, there are some discriminatory practices against women that we can fix by law? Because I don't think you guys ever felt discriminated against before this, right?
No, Mom.
Never as a Bahamian woman before this.
No.
And the bill actually, it doesn't discriminate directly against Bahamian women, does it? It doesn't say anything about Bahamian women. It actually just says that all persons aboard the ship must be Bahamian. That is the nuance of the bill, right? And Shabeth, I want your response.
That is. It does not explicitly say that, but it is worded in a way where it automatically says or means the implication of it is that they are not able to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you read between the lines. I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to read between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Nor do you need to be a English major to read between the lines. It's obvious.
So
I don't know. Continue.
No. Because as we're wrapping up, I really want to get you guys your final thoughts on this, right? Because I think that overall, the narrative is that Bahamian women are getting swung, that you guys are being used, that we are protecting our waters. And as Bahamians, you should be patriotic and understand that. And your spouses can work somewhere else. They're not saying they have to leave. They just can't be fishermen. And so, I mean, just go ahead and either make them citizens, put in for the citizenship, or let them do something else. And for some of that, the measure is there, that you're not held hostage.
But the problem with that is we would not have had any problem accepting that. I go back to the point of the law being made retroactive. That is, and we're not asking for them to have any citizenship. We're asking them at the back of any spousal permit or residency card, it says that they're not prohibited from any gainful employment. So this is why we feel so offended, apart from the fact of us being hurt financially. You give us a card that says you're not prohibited from engaging in any gainful occupation. And then you come behind and you now say, okay, any gainful occupation except this one. Legally, that cannot be right legally. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing that I cannot begin to fathom, because I've never heard of any law being made retroactive or retroactively. We have no problem with them saying, okay, from here on in, those persons who are coming in, and it can be in the Constitution, wherever they want to put it, cannot engage in this particular profession. We have no problem with that. But our problem is that this has been years of working. Families are being affected, and you simply say, okay, go and find something else. We're in the midst of a pandemic, which is knowledge to everybody. You know how many persons are out of employment right now from various sectors? People within their own country who are Bahamians. So now what do you do with the persons who are not Bahamians, have their legal status, have their documentation indicating that they are not prohibited from any gainful occupation? How do you do that? How do you do that? This. And, this is one of the reasons why, we were actually so quiet so long, because we were actually thinking, this law is going to come into play, but it's not going to affect us because, hey, we're legally married. We're subsiding with our husbands. We have legit marriages. And we know that legally laws are not supposed to be made retroactively. So when it actually was enacted, it was like an atomic bomb for us. My pressure went up. I will be honest. I went to a clinic. Both my husband and I, our pressure went up. And the nurse who attended us, she said, what is it? Are you all eating a lot of greasy food? I said, no, Mom. I said, you really want to know what's happening? I said, he can no longer go out and work. She said, what? So, yeah, we hear about this, but I say, yeah, because a lot of persons, because you are not directly affected, some persons don't even pay attention because I'm not married to a fisherman. I don't have a family member married to a fisherman, so I really don't care. However, what I want the Bahamian people to understand, this sets a precedence. It may not affect you now, but in the future, once something like this is done once, it's called a precedent. And you don't know the day when it's going to affect you. You don't know who your sister will marry. You don't know who your daughter will marry. You don't know who your granddaughter will marry. So be very careful.
That's right. I'm with you on that. It's precedence. And once we are willing to let certain rights, even if it's nothing to do with you, once a right is taken away, or once there's a discriminatory practice of any kind, shape, or form, it will come back to bite you down the road. So I am totally with you on that. I think we should all be standing up and saying, no, this is still, it reeks of discrimination. And I'm disappointed that we haven't decided or found a way to not discriminate. And I think it's lazy policy writing that we are doing this. And I love the fact that you said, listen, just if that's the case, if we want to make this a standard, make it a standard for the future, for anyone after this point, right? But those who have been in this business, if you can prove that the marriage is legitimate, why is it that immigration can't do their job and just prove that the marriages are legitimate? And that is where I think there's a lot of issues here. I appreciate you guys. I know we've had a good segment. Melvina, came in heavy. She came in late, but she came in strong. And so I appreciate her. She laid down the gauntlet, brought the passion and the heart. Then we have you, Shabeth, of course, just bringing a lot of that eloquence, of course, and really connecting with me that we would be able to do this. And I'm very grateful for that. Special thanks to Raquel, Lashonda, and Tennille, who started at the beginning, Tennille Vargas. Ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And listen, the show is always open to you. I think these are things that we need to be able to discuss very candidly and realize that bills, policies, acts, legislation affects real people. Thank you so much. And hopefully we figure out exactly how to get it done. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. We'll be right back. We will be right back right after this. We'll be right back.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
When I got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja
You're
Black.
listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Someone made a great point on something, and I wanted to make sure I read it out. They said, now you see, that suggestion that the law should only be applied to new applications shows that you are not sincere about the rights of a woman, but that you care more of your personal situation. That's a great rebuttal and a great point. It is one of those things that if the bill itself had come out with that sort of leniency, then perhaps you wouldn't get this much amount of pushback, and you're right on that. But there are also certain areas where they say no foreigners, no foreigners. So no foreigners are allowed to come in the country and practice law, period, bar none, male or female, bar none, right? Now, that is standard. We accept that as standard, a norm, right? That it, regardless of male or female. Now, where it could be very, and where this, I understand why you would say that, because fishing is technically dominated, not technically, it's dominated by males, right? So it would more so affect women because we are marrying the men who fish. So I agree with you that really this bill in and of itself is just discriminatory, and that it really would just be that immigration should fix it. Fix it. Immigration, do your job. Immigration, instead of having, let's call a spade a spade. There's a lot of corruption in the system. We got people who are married to ghosts. Mothers showing up trying to get their child to be put the father's name put on a birth certificate and find out that daddy got another wife, but he don't know he married. She doesn't know she's married because there's fictional things. We got fraudulent documents all around the place. We've got an immigration system that, listen, who are we kidding? You don't sugarcoat it. I don't care how much the minister talks about they ain't corrupt. The police force says they ain't corrupt. But we know that there are people with immigration or with documents or being withheld documents after legally going through the process because they refuse to pay extra. Come on, man. We know the customs officers who build mansions off of corruption. Immigrations officers who've done the same. The system is corrupt. So then how do we deal with this? Fix it. The lazy policy of not doing jobs. Immigration as a function, do the function. Be functionable. There's a whole other issue because I tell you, you had the whole entire Haitian embassy had to leave from the charge from the Haitian ambassador down, Claire House, because of corrupt dealings with passports and stuff. Listen, do the work. Clean up the shop. Let's get some things in order so that we can deal with issues that does not discriminate. Being lazy with policy writing is not going to help because women are citizens, children are citizens, men are citizens. We are citizens and citizens should get rights. And if your husband, but look, we have a whole other show you could do. I got a whole other show I could do on this topic, but there's something else I want to get to before we leave. You guys may have heard an audio, and I'm going to play it for you, right? And you're right, Bahamians have a right to ask questions. Every Bahamian has a right to ask questions. Every single one of us asks the questions, get the investigation to get the answers. But this is something that I wanted to talk about. COVID-19 is here. It is here. The Delta variant is here. You know, I don't need nobody to tell me it. Things are becoming more transmissible. We're having these situations in-house, in country. What is concerning to me is I saw of some photos, and it's all about example and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, I've shared with you on this show how my family members needed ambulances to take them to the hospital because of COVID-19, where I was watching and wondering if I was going to lose some of the most important people in my life because of COVID-19. God is good, but God is good. They're here today. And that's because I tell you, I know it. It is because of who I know that has helped my kin, my people. That's the truth. It's the truth. If they'd gone into PMH without insurance, without me knowing doctors and nurses, I don't know what would have fallen them. That's the truth. I ain't trying to sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to cover it up. The reality is a lot of folks don't have those connections. I know what it is to watch your people. I know what it is getting the call saying they have to go now. I know what it is you can't sleep. I know what it is to carry food and wondering how are they doing because you can't see them. That was even before this. Yeah? Before this. I can't. I'm an emotional wreck when we talk about this thing because I don't just see my people. I knew if they got sick that they would end up in the hospital. I knew it. And sure enough, they did. The challenge I have is, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't taking this thing serious. So I'm going to play this real quick for you. Real quick.
I just came on here to tell you all that COVID is real.
Hold on. It didn't play. It's just the devil. Give you an idea. And it's on my Facebook page. The challenge here is a young lady talking about her family. Actually, I can play it. Let me see if I can. Talking about the loss of her family. You've heard the news. She lost her mother and her brother. She lost them both within 24 hours. Right? Within 24 hours, she lost them both. And that is where she's crying and talking about it was playing? It was playing? Oh, okay, I can't see it. Sorry. All right, my apologies. I just
came on here to tell you all that COVID is real. You know, COVID is real. My family hasn't been touched by COVID since the pandemic.
All right. I personally, I can't see it or hear it, so I don't know if it's playing or not. So I can't. I can't hear it. So I'm going to post it on my Facebook page for you guys to listen to, right? So it's only playing online. I don't think it's playing in the studio, so that's why I can't play it on here, right? And my apologies to that, because once I can't hear it and see it, I can't control how it's going on. So my apologies there. And it's playing for y'all too, so then it's just me. It's just me. All right, let me see. Arlie, and we're out of time. It's like the worst editing situation ever. I can't even use it. It is just me. So I can't see it or hear it, but it's just me. My apologies. I'm going to put it on, and I got to do it on the top of the show. I ran out of time today, so it is just me. My apologies, everyone. Here is the challenge that we face. The young lady is crying, and she's sharing about how this is she lost her family. It broke my heart because this is real. This is 101 on the ground floor. People are losing family. Young Miss York lost her mother, her brother within 24 hours. Her sister is in critical condition. She herself is sick. This is one household. I met a nurse, and I told you guys about this. She lost her mother, her aunt, and her mother's best friend. People are losing folks in clusters. I saw a photo of the Prime Minister walking in Margaritaville yesterday. Lead by example, no masks, indoor or out. But we want people to take us seriously. Come on, man. Come on, man. Everyone, please be safe. Please, I'm begging you, be safe. Not for you if you don't believe, but be responsible for the people you love around you. Do that. I can't even tell you get vaccinated because there ain't no vaccines. But I digress. I'll put the video on my Facebook page. Please go there. My apologies that it is just me. I couldn't hear it, so I thought it didn't exist. Everyone, take care of yourself. Be good. Keep the whole country in prayer. We need to pray, and then we need to work. You're listening to the Hit Back Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Everyone have a great day. We're out.